Welcome back to the Las Vegas Convention Center and the 2005 ASICS Las Vegas U.S. National Wrestling Championships. It's men's freestyle, 66 kilo at 145.5 pounds. Chris Bono in the blue singlet has a 1-0 lead, took a 1-0 score out of the first period, so he leads 1 period to nothing. You get a nice look at the replay, headed out of bounds.
Manages to tippy-toe around the line there and stay in. Well, that was the score actually by Bono on the line that scored the points. And then right at the end of the round, Lawrence almost scored back to tie that up. And I noticed the coaches for Lawrence over in the corner here from Minnesota, none other than the Morgan boys, Gordy and Marty Morgan, a couple of Greco guys that I used to train and compete with.
Those are some of the guys that helped make you a little bit who you are today, I guess. Is that correct?
Definitely made me tougher, for sure.
They made you pay your dues to a very large extent years ago. Well, Jared Lawrence, the Morgan brothers are coaching Lawrence because he wrestles for the Minnesota Storm out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
He's also a collegiate wrestler from Minnesota. Minnesota's having a lot of success in the collegiate program the last few years. Bono in on a nice high crotch and finishes a single leg for a 1-point takedown to go ahead in the second period 1-0. He's working for a kind of a modified gut wrench there, and he kind of gives up the attempt, but Lawrence is going to chance to come back to his feet now, and he's got to make something happen in this second period, down by 1 point.
And there's Cale Sanderson over in the corner, legend himself.
Lawrence gets on the board now.
Now Lawrence is the attacker.
Lawrence does a nice job off the high single leg to come around behind Bono. Bono kind of had to bail out on that takedown to make sure he didn't give up any more points than just the one.
So Lawrence ties this up at 1 point apiece. But right now, Randy, if this period comes to an end with this score, the nod would go to Jared Lawrence because he is the one who scored the last point.
That's right, and the criteria for determining who won the point or who won the period, the last point scored is one of the 3-point moves, 2-point moves, then the last point scored, and then it comes to cautions after that. So there's been no cautions, just the 2 points apiece for the two athletes. And Bono turning it up now with 20 seconds left. He realizes that he's got to make something happen to finish this match out.
Or he's going to go to the third period, something he would prefer not to do.
Exactly.
Under 10 seconds remaining in the second period of competition between Jared Lawrence in the red singlet and Chris Bono in the blue singlet, and Lawrence literally biding his time.
So there we have it, the end of the second period, 1 apiece. The red hand raised by the referee signifying that Mr. Lawrence has won the second period. So now we go into the third with a period apiece.
There you get a look at Bobby Douglas talking to Chris Bono. Bono, Cale Sanderson also over in the corner. That's some top-notch coaching, if you ask me.
I would imagine that Cale and Chris work out together on a regular basis. Cale's not far out of his competitive wrestling, and they don't get any better than that. Undefeated in 4 years of college wrestling. Just won a gold medal in 2004.
Well, here we go. Third period, men's freestyle, 66 kilo, 145.5 pounds. Chris Bono won the first period by the score of 1-0. Jared Lawrence in the red singlet won the second period by criteria, having scored the last point against Chris Bono, so they're tied at 1 period apiece. It's a best out of 3. This is the period that will decide the national championship.
It looks like Lawrence has made some adjustments in dealing with the pressure that Bono puts on him and sets up that nice snap down. He's made some adjustments. He's using his length and trying to get to those legs. Nice attempt by Lawrence there.
But Bono is really tough to shoot on, Randy, because he stays so low to the mat.
He keeps a pretty square stance, which is a very good defensive posture. Tends to force guys to try and shoot on him and then counter wrestle. Controls the head very well. Puts a lot of pressure on his opponents because of that low stance.
You talk about the age and experience. Chris Bono was a 1996 NCAA champion at Iowa State, while Jared Lawrence was a 2002 NCAA champion for the University of Minnesota.
Both guys with very, very nice collegiate backgrounds, and that's a very exclusive group to be in, a guy that's won an NCAA title. There's not a lot of those running around.
Well, right now, we got less than 30 seconds remaining in this contest, and we have no score in the third period. We're tied at 1 period apiece, so the winner of this period right here will win this match and the national title.
Both guys being very active. Lawrence in on an attempt. Bono countering, coming back. I think both guys are really working in this third period. Neither one wants to go to the freestyle clinch. Will be the first one we've seen tonight.
And that is a rule modification. It looks like as the waning seconds in this period come to a close, we have a 0-0 tie. That means we're going to have a coin toss, and we're going to go to a clinch. And it's a freestyle clinch as Cale Sanderson looks on.
Exactly, a freestyle clinch. And they used to make the Greco and the freestyle guys clinch the same way, which was in more of an upper body position, which obviously the freestyle guys didn't like because they're used to grabbing the legs.
Now, wait a minute. Dan, you're talking as a former Greco guy here.
Leg grabbers they are. And so now the guy who wins the toss gets to pick up his opponent's leg, and the guy who loses the toss gets to determine which leg he picks up.
Well, Bono is the one that's going to clinch. He's got the right leg of Lawrence. Let's see what he can do with it. He's got 30 seconds. Out of bounds goes Lawrence.
Be interesting to see how they rule this now, because Lawrence countered the takedown and he was still in bounds. So they're going to go to the tape, I assume here. Our head official, Mr. Tucci, is going to look at the tape, and they're going to decide if Lawrence countered that takedown of Bono's before he went out of bounds.
That is exactly what they're going to look at, Randy. Take a look for yourself.
Here's the takedown attempt. You can see the line. Does Lawrence's foot go out of bounds before he starts this counter? And he's out of bounds right there. So I would have to say that Bono scores the points by the way I see that. Here it is again. There to see his heel over the line before he starts to counter that takedown.
And so Chris Bono picks up the 66-kilo national championship, and Joe Miller is standing by with our winner, Chris Bono.
Chris Bono going the wire for the win here tonight in Las Vegas. What a wild finish. The fans certainly got their money's worth in your match tonight.
Yeah, you know, I shouldn't have let it go to the clinch, but it's just a hard-fought match, and Lawrence is a tough competitor.
Take us through the mindset of that 30 seconds. You got the leg up. You got to take him down. He's trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
Pressure's really on you to score there.
You can't ask for anything more than to have a leg in the air with a chance to win the match.
From the Las Vegas Convention Center, this is the ASICS Las Vegas U.S. National